Today we talk of AI and all these technological things. Look at how excited we are entering into it, yet they have always been there. Once upon a time, listen, many of you remember, once upon a time, if you went to the bank, you could not transfer money from your branch to another branch. No. Not to talk of whoever believed that you can hold a phone and with your phone you can do transactions. You can talk to anybody across the world. Even when no plane had flown in the air, the law of aerodynamics was still there. Only God knows how many other laws are there that we are yet to find. Do you know why laws are very predictable? Watch this. Some of you, especially our international guests, you took a flight from your various nations to come here. Most likely the person who flew you was not a believer. Yet that whole aircraft and the system worked in keeping with the law of aerodynamics. The law of aerodynamics is not a scientific law. It is a spiritual law that was discovered and used by science. Are we together now? What you call scientific laws, go and ask the inventors of those laws. Is it the laws of mechanics? Is it the law of whatever it is? Everything you call a law today, we just say they are spiritual laws and natural laws simply because of the dimensions where they find expression. But in truth, there are only spiritual laws. All laws are spiritual because they have the power of God backing them. Are we together? So, men like Sir Isaac Newton, in their study of mechanics, they stumbled across several laws and put their postulations together. Are we together? There were many other scientists. Michael Faraday, look at this. Today we are enjoying and preaching the gospel because of a concept called electricity. The Wright brothers. Are we together now? Henry Ford. All of these people, the inventions in our world today are simply spiritual laws that have been tapped and have been converted into a way and a strategy that betters the lives of people. That means even when no plane had flown in the air, the law of aerodynamics was still there. Only God knows how many other laws are there that we are yet to find. Once upon a time, listen, many of you remember, once upon a time, if you went to the bank, you could not transfer money from your branch to another branch. No. Not to talk of whoever believed that you can hold a phone and with your phone you can do transactions. You can talk to anybody across the world. Remember those days when rain falls and your nighttime line cuts? You have to carry a ladder and start strolling around your community looking for which one a tree has fallen on now, to fix it so that your phone will come back. But right now, with one dial, you can be talking to someone from anywhere across the globe. Those laws were always there. Just because we did not know them, the power of God remained dormant on that wise. Today we talk of AI and all these technological things. Look at how excited we are entering into it, yet they have always been there. Please listen to me. If you understand what I'm telling you, your life will become phenomenal. You will now respect the laws of God. Disorganization will always lead to depletion. It's a law. Even if it is practiced by a Christian, the moment you are disorganized in leadership, in ministry, as a person, there will never be growth with disorganization. Scatter your clothes and try to put it in a bag. You find out that it seems like it cannot enter. Iron them and arrange the same clothes. You will now be able to close the bag. Disorganization will always lead to depletion. It's a law. Now, watch this. Why am I teaching you this? So that in wanting to see the power of God made manifest in your life, you will see that God was so determined that he invested his power in laws and principles. Wealth has a law. Kingdom wealth does not just work on laws alone. When you now bring kingdom, it is not only laws now. You have to bring in the will of God and the purposes of God. That's why there is a difference between wealth and kingdom wealth. There is a difference between influence and kingdom influence. Influence, you just need to work on the law of growth, result, productivity, leadership. But when you bring kingdom to it, you now have to submit to the will of God. Are we learning now? Look at the advancements we're making in medicine. Watch this. I hope you know that the same malaria that today, if someone said, I have fever or malaria, they say, oh, sorry. Just stroll to a pharmacist there, talk with the pharmacist, and they will give you some drug. Nobody will lament. In fact, many people will not even pray. They'll just say it's well. But the same malaria, once upon a time on earth here, if you had it, it was as though you had HIV. Am I right? It was as though you had cancer. Yet there were laws that had these solutions. One day, scientists together stumbled across a combination that could sort out malaria so easily. Now, someone can even be doing his work and say, you know, I've had malaria. And you say, sorry. And you expect to see that person by next week. The power of laws. That means cancer that is killing people today. Listen carefully. That means HIV that is killing people today. There is a supernatural dimension to it. But please, I want you to believe me that God who put his power in laws, there is every solution. This is where the assignment of the Holy Ghost comes. You will be learning how inventions happen. Invention is not brain work. Invention is a spirit assisting a man to find where these laws are, alongside the combination. Go and ask inventors. They will tell you. Inventors are usually lonely people. They alienate themselves from society. It is that level of consecration that introduces them to spirits. They may not acknowledge that I'm interacting with a spirit. They will say, a voice told me, join this, join that, join this, and boom, something happens. There were people from as far back as 1992, 1993, who predicted the technological advancement of these days, not by word of knowledge, the progression of inventions. And that happened by the assistance of spirits. We're still coming to the other dimensions. I am just telling you that, watch this, we are immersed in a myriad of spiritual laws waiting for us to understand. The Bible is the believer's compendium of these laws. That if you find out from this Bible, whoever knew that if someone is sick, you can play worship and play all of this and it can bless the person and it can be healed. Now, medical science is telling us that even people who submit themselves to these atmospheres and these energies, that they have a chance of recovery than those who are allowed to be lonely and just sit back there. But this, right from the beginning, these things were in the Bible. Now, hear me. I know that people have used satanic and demonic laws to destroy. My goal is to help you know that these laws work because it is the power of God that is behind them. Forever until Jesus comes, when you get an airplane and the laws of aerodynamics is working well, when you move that plane, are we together now? It is going to go upon the air and we are going to travel and keep traveling, taking the gospel and taking whatever it is on the strength of that law. Many people have come here today. Look at your phone. Once upon a time, do you remember something called Nokia 3310? Remember how proud you were the day you bought it? You flaunted it. The same thing you are hiding today. When you are sorting your clothes and you find it, you quickly destroy. You don't want to identify with it. I'm just giving an example. But you can imagine that once upon a time, that was your pride. It would have been a dream to imagine that you can sit down and be watching Koinonia from your phone. Some of you, there are children who do not even know what a cafe is. How about typewriters? Semicolon LKJ, you were taught. And some of you got 0 because you couldn't understand it. Where will I put my fingers? Are we together? Yet, the laws that can make the globe to be at the hand of a man is like this, just here. Today you can do any kind of thing, unimaginable things. The laws. Believers, please hear me. Before Jesus returns, let me tell you, One of the things that the Spirit of God is doing is he's opening the eyes of believers to see other laws, combinations that will provide solutions to men. I'm not just talking of supernatural solutions to the church, because there are dimensions of supernatural solutions that the world will not receive. So God brings it down through laws. If I pluck a leaf now and I say eat it, you call me a herbalist. But if I consult with a pharmacist and turn that leaf into a pill and I say swallow it and cancer disappears, you will call that an invention. And you are right. Let me tell you, there are many leaves that are for the healing of the nations. You see, some of our aged parents, in almost every village I know in Africa, there's usually one old man who was trained to combine some leaves. You just come and say, my head is paining. He say, just relax. He will stroll around as if he's looking for something that is missing and bring all kinds of things, pound them and say, oh yeah, you eat it. And to your shock, now, it was demonic spirits that taught them. But I'm teaching you that those laws, demonic spirits do not invent power. They only, because they know that men unassisted are ignorant, they will come to you and claim that they want to give you power. Their own cut from the deal is your loyalty to them. Then they will now show you certain spiritual combinations. This is how witchcraft happens. Witchcraft is a manipulation of God's power that comes through a necessary alliance with Satan, intended to ultimately give you a semblance of result while corrupting your desire for God. But make no mistakes about it. If your plane still flies, if you still switch on your phone, can you imagine that you send a text and it does not make a mistake to enter another number? 8 billion people thereabout on earth, yet the person you are sending to, it gets to his phone in a moment. I'm holding right here a mic. When I watch the videos of Catherine Kuhlman and all these people, when this kind of invention was in its infancy, you see them hanging, they hang all kinds of things like a growth around their waist and carry it. I mean, you can imagine hanging something this heavy. Yet to them, they were impressed because it was an invention. And today, to many people, I'm even living in a stone age holding this.
Thank you for watching this video. We believe you have been touched by this message. If you have any comments on this video, kindly leave it in the comment section. If you have any inquiries or testimonies, you can also leave it in the comment section. If you've not subscribed to this channel yet, kindly do so and turn on your notification bell. And if you enjoyed today's message, kindly like and share with others. Thank you and see you in the next video.
Jesus,